You know, if you're inside that top 10, we got trouble down. We got a major fight going on down here. And I mean, Timbers have flair kicking the race car. We got fists flying. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Andrew Grady trying to go after the driver of the 41. We saw him show some displeasure on the racetrack.
They fighting. People have described this as a meltdown, an attack, criminal assault. But this NASCAR fight at Martinsville Speedway over the weekend was between Andrew Grady, who was the puncher there, and Davey Callihan, who you couldn't see except for a hand poke out of that car every once in a while. The whole confrontation gripped the sporting world. So let's watch this again. And one thing I want to point out to you guys was, if you're in a fight and you're the angry guy who's ready to F somebody up, the worst thing to do is to get picked up by your armpits and carried away like a rag doll. Let's watch that again.
That top 10, we got trouble down. We got a major fight going on down here. And I mean, Timbers have flair kicking the race car. We got fists flying. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Andrew Grady trying to go after the driver of the 41. We saw him show some displeasure on the racetrack.
Go, bro. Let me go. You can't be that guy. You can't let some huge guy carry you off. But then again, you kind of have no choice. It's flashbacks of, like, club bouncers. They like to do things like this to folks. Yes, but he ended the fight, so I like that part. This is not where it ended, though. Andrew Grady there, who was taken away there, he was still fired up. And they asked him afterwards, what is it got you so mad? How did this even start? This guy is wonderful. Look, first off, as this video starts, this background of all these loud race cars, bear through that. It's only for a few seconds, but let's listen to what Grady had to say.
But man, you get these dumbasses that come in here and run with us, and they have no business running a late model, much less a lawnmower. I mean, he wasn't close. He dive bombed me. He hooked me. He wrecked Brandon Pierce in the process. And I wanted to talk to him, and he flipped me off. So I started Mike Tyson in his head. I mean, you're in a big boy sport. When you wreck a man, you can take a grown man ass whipping. That's how I feel.
I'm as Mike Tyson in his head. By the way, it's either whooping or whipping. When somebody's taking an ass whipping, which I heard Michael Jordan say before too, I feel like that's an old school term. I don't know. Anyway, I enjoy it. Let's get into the details of why this is so big and why this resulted in a fight. There was 93 teams that entered to compete in the ValleyStar Credit Union 300. That was this race, which is a major late model stock racing event. There were 4 25-lap qualifying heats to determine who would make the 40-car field for this big race. And the top 10 finishers of each of these heats would qualify for the race. This is where things got dicey. In the first heat, Grady, who's the man who was talking just a second ago, and Brandon Pierce were wrecked. Grady claimed that Davey Callihan, who was in the car getting punched for the wreck, and attacked the driver after that race. Callihan was one of the only 10 drivers to qualify from his heat. It looks like he qualified because he cut those 2 guys off or whatever pit move or something he did that was wrong and wrecked 2 guys and squeezed his way right into this very big race. Now that's where Grady's upset. Pause for a second, because there was a couple Twitter users, and I'm curious if you noticed this too, Jessica, who said this after that tirade. Cookie Montague said, "Who is his lash tech? Asking for me." Because apparently Andrew Grady's got some fabulous lashes, but she wasn't the only one. DLA says, "I came to say the exact same thing," and she's laughing about it. And she went on to say, "I don't even know what he said. I'm just like, hello, lashes." It's good stuff. Well, there's more parts about it. There's more to this. Let's get back to this fight. Because now Davey Callihan, which I was very curious. I said, what is the guy who's getting punched in his head, who's getting Mike Tyson in his head? What does he have to say about all this? And did he really pull off this move? Did he flip him off? Did all these things happen the way they said they happened? Let's listen to Davey.
Yeah, man, it's for the transfer spot for Martinsville, and in my perspective, I was there. It was definitely close, but you can't give an inch for the transfer spot when there's 95 cars, and I had to take it. So, just hard racing, and I do apologize to the one, but we're fighting for our life out there, so just did what I had to do.
He said he wanted to talk to you, but he said that you flipped him off.
No, I never flipped anybody off. He just started punching me inside the race car, so I understand he's frustrated, but again, it was for the transfer spot, and we were just fighting for our life. So.
I've got thoughts, Davey. What are your thoughts, Jessica? I'm going to see if you say it first. There's a lot here. There's lashes. There's fights. Was it assault? Should he have not cut him off? Who's in the wrong? Who's in the right?
Listen, okay, I might surprise you with this one, but I'm a huge fan of late model racing and short track racing. I really like NASCAR. And a lot of NASCAR changed, right? When they went super corporate, they got the corporate money, the corporate sponsors. It started to be more about the fans than it was about the drivers. And when it was about racing, and a lot of the drivers got upset. Like I remember the days when Jack Ingram, coming into the pits, just slammed into Ronnie Presley's car, and these two were duking it out, and the pit crew was holding back the police from breaking up the fight. Like that's when NASCAR was really NASCAR. So you know what? The only thing I don't like about this is when you're in the car, you're kind of strapped in. And if you're going to fight someone, let them get out and have it be a fair fight. But I really like short track racing. I really want this to be about the racers. And, you know, things changed a lot when they were on television all of the time and they got a bunch of fans. So, you know, if the boys want to fight, let them fight is actually my approach.
You know, and it's one of those things. It brings a level of interest, I think, not because the sport isn't entertaining enough without it, but there's now you're thinking, oh, Davey Callihan, Andrew Grady. This could be a thing. Who knows? But one definitely to make it, and maybe you start finding yourselves in different corners. This is what competition in sports is about. Yes, I don't condone the fighting and everything, but it happens in many sports. Let's keep it real. And number 3, this is my speculation. This isn't fact. Your man Davey did some kind of dirty maneuver, and I think he did flip him off. Come on. He said, did you flip him off? And he goes, I didn't flip anybody off. If you make it a broad answer, when they ask you specifically, did you flip one guy off? Yeah, you did it, bro. And if you did it, you did it. Okay, cool. This is a battle. Like he said, it's dirty out there. It's a dirty game.
Yeah, I'm going to Dale Earnhardt quote. When they, made the cars much faster, there were a lot of people concerned about safety. It was a big problem. They had these concrete walls separating the drivers from the fans, which protected the fans, but then you have drivers hitting the concrete wall, which is a huge problem, right? It made driving a lot more dangerous for them. And he says, if you're not a real race car driver, stay the hell home. Don't come here and grumble about going too fast. Get the hell out of the race car. Put a kerosene rag around your ankles so the ants won't climb up and eat that candy ass. I love it.
Who said that?
That was Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, Earnhardt.
Yeah.
That's how they roll, man. Go check out some late model racing, which I'm very green on this entire sport. So thank you, Jessica, for that.